Biofertilizers are basically when there are microorganisms. So bio is life, so microorganisms help bring out, make the soil more fertile. So they put uh, ways of putting microorganisms in the soil, so they enrich. They get more of the nutrients, get nutrients out of the soil and make the soil more fertile.
Very good, excellent. So basically, biofertilizers are basically, as you very correctly said, bio means life. So they would put live animals, live plants, here in this case, rhizobium is a bacteria. It's a rhizobium. Rhizobium is a bacteria which, here not dead animals or plants. Bacteria is neither a plant or an animal, so they really couldn't categorize. That's the reason why they wrote biofertilizers. We all know legumes or leguminous plants, they have how many of you have seen leguminous plants? What are leguminous plants, first of all?
May I?
Yeah.
Ma'am, the leguminous plants are the ones that have bacteria at the roots.
They have certain root nodules, they have certain root nodules, and in these root nodules, basically leguminous plants are which belong to the pea family. They are known as leguminous plants. It could be your groundnut, all kinds of dal, right? Chole, masoor dal, moong dal. Those are all legumes. So all those families will belong to the leguminous family. And if you have seen, we know that dal, chole, matar, all these things are very high in protein. So from where does the protein comes? Protein is basically, broken down. The raw source is nitrogen. So basically what happens is that, the roots have certain nodules, matlab, the small pouches. And in these nodules stays the rhizobium bacteria. Many a times, these rhizobium bacteria, what they do is that they fix nitrogen. They fix atmospheric nitrogen. We all know now in our atmosphere there's a lot of nitrogen available. What is air?
Ma'am, air is the mixture of nitrogen and oxygen and other gases.
Other gases, right. So basically so much of nitrogen is there, but are we actually using it?
No, ma'am, we are not using, but
we are actually using oxygen. So these rhizobium bacteria, what they do is that they take the atmospheric nitrogen, they fix it, and they make it in such a way so that the plants can use it.
Ma'am, nitrogen fixation bacteria.
Nitrogen fixation bacteria. Similarly, even azotobacter. Azotobacter, these are very friendly bacteria, as I said. Very friendly bacteria. Right? So more the nitrogen, remember I told you, more the nitrogen, more the flowers and fruits. Any plant for that matter, be it flowering plants, your rose, garden, whatever, more the nitrogen, more the flowers and fruits, and more the protein. The fruits will have a lot of protein. In this case, the legumes will be having a lot of protein, like the chole, the kidney beans, rajma, matar, everything. So these are known as biofertilizers. Is that clear? So this is what has been discussed here. They say share a symbiotic relationship. Why symbiotic? Matlab these bacteria are not harmful. These get food and shelter from the plant, and the plant gets help from them by getting fixed the nitrogen. So both of them are helping each other here. That's the reason why it's symbiotic. Right? Naisha, what is the meaning of symbiotic? Very good. So it basically benefits both the parties. We have studied about parasitic relationship where there is a host and there is a parasite.
Yes, ma'am.
But in this case, what happens? The host is damaged by the parasite. But in a symbiotic relationship, both the parties are in a win-win situation. This is also good, happy. This is also happy and good. The leguminous plant is happy because nitrogen is being fixed. The rhizobium is also happy because it is getting food and shelter from the plant, leguminous plant. So it's a symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria. both Rhizobium as well as Azotobacter. Is this clear to all of you? This is very important, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next we come to rotation of crops. Who will read it out? Volunteer?
Ma'am, may I?
Ronak, no, apart from you, somebody else. Volunteer, I need volunteers.
May I?
Yes, please go ahead.
May I?
Yeah, Kavya just responded, no?
Oh, sorry. It's okay, ma'am.
Go ahead, Kavya.
Rotation of crops. Growing of a leguminous crop in between two cereal or vegetable crops is called rotation of crops. In multiple or mixed cropping, two or more crops are sown simultaneously in the same field. One of these is a leguminous crop. These crops grow and mature at the same time. For example, corn and soya bean or any other pulse are cultivated together as kharif or summer crop.
Correct. So is this clear? This was a very pretty easy concept. So I'm sure it's clear to all of you. Yeah. So how you rotate your crops according to their, requirement. For example, one season you do a leguminous crop where, it requires a lot of nitrogen. The next season you grow a lot of corn, right? So you just alternate a kharif with a rabi, right? Or a zayed with a kharif, right? So you just alternate them season-wise and requirement-wise. That's as simple as that. Who else can explain the nitrogen cycle to me? It is an extremely easy one.
Ma'am,
We've
may I?
just Okay, Rona, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Firstly, the plants take nitrogen from the air. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No. The plants take the nitrogen, then the nitrogen fixation bacteria acts on it. Then the processes of ammonification, nitrification, and nitrification are done because plants can take nitrogen in that form only. Then to release nitrogen, denitrification process is done, and nitrogen is again released in the air. This process goes on continuously.
Correct. Good. So basically what happens is that, nitrogen fixation happens in two ways. One is by electrical discharge, that is whenever there is lightning. Always remember next time there is lightning, you're seeing rain and there's lightning, always remember there is nitrogen fixation happening. And the other way is through, rhizobium kind bacteria. And there are certain blue-green algae also, which can fix nitrogen from the air into the nitrogen compounds, which actually can go into the soil so that the plants can absorb it. That is known as nitrogen fixation. So there are many ways of nitrogen fixation. One is through lightning, that is electrical discharge. One is through bacteria like Azotobacter and Rhizobium. Rhizobium and Azotobacter are these two kind of bacteria which are very beneficial in fixing atmospheric nitrogen. And then there is a blue-green algae, right, which converts nitrogen into nitrogen compounds, right, nitrate, nitrite or whatever, and then they go into the soil. After they go into the soil, obviously now the plants can take the nitrogen. The roots will dissolve it with the water and then they'll go to the leaves and then, whatever is required will be done. Now, these plants will be eaten by the animals, herbivorous animals especially, and many a times we also have it omnivores like palak, paneer and sarson ka saag, and we have certain plants. Animals, herbivores will mainly have it. What happens is that either with the help of their waste or after the animals die, the dead and decomposition of these dead plants and animals will form manure. So what do you think this manure is rich in? This manure rich in nitrogen. This manure is rich in nitrogen. Yes. See, this is basically nitrogen being carried on in different ways. Now this nitrogen will be again released back into the air by the action of bacteria on decaying matter. For example, there is a waste. Certain microbes, certain bacteria will work on it, and what will be released? Nitrogen will be released. Where will it be released? Back to the atmosphere. So this is how, nitrogen is back and forth released into the environment again and again. It's just like, energy. Energy can never be created, never be wasted. It just goes round and round, it changes form. Similarly, nitrogen just changes form. Form as in, yeah, of course, form and place. Kabhi in the soil, kabhi in the plant, kabhi in the animal, but back in the air.